Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. Let's talk about anything and everything that is geek, will be TV, comics, movies, and video games. As you've probably heard me talk about in previous two other videos, San Diego Comic-Con was a couple weeks ago, and a couple weekends ago now, and a lot of big things were announced there from all the big comic and entertainment companies and everything. And I'm just going to run down a few of the highlights and some lowlights of the big shindig in San Diego. First of all, y'all have heard me mention already. The Marvel has introduced its Phase 4 plans for the MCU, and y'all basically, I mean, there was more. Y'all have heard me talk about Thor plenty, but there's other ones like the next Doctor Strange movies coming out. They've got another Spider-Man movie in the works also. I think, I may be mistaken, it may be just part of the rumored one. I think there was another Spider-Man movie in there. There's another, despite the fact that they sound like there wasn't another Avengers, there is one called the New Avengers that's going to happen within the Phase 4, maybe into Phase 5. What I've heard, they're talking about Phase 5 stuff. I've heard them even talking about like Blade movie for Phase 5. I've heard another Captain Marvel movie get mentioned. They're supposed to be doing another Ant-Man movie, believe it or not. I think another Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming out. And, I mean, they just got like a slew of movies. They've got like Fantastic Four, and even possibly announced when they were introducing the X-Men in there, and rebooting them into the MCU, and even, Ryan Reynolds just coming out recently after Comic-Con and saying that Deadpool's going to be part of the MCU soon. So, but the official slate has been announced, and I can just say right now, I don't give a rip about any of it because it's on a fast track to running off the cliff into the abyss. Because of some of the stuff they're going to introduce into this, basically the same thing to help sink the comics is going to end up sinking the movie universe as well, and it's just a crying shame. But about the only thing that even sounded enticing was the Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange movie that's coming out, but still, I'm not going to watch any of it because I'm still boycotting it. And I'm still boycotting it, and I could care less. But I just feel sorry for the other people that got to suffer through the same garbage that the comic fans had to suffer through. And I just say I pity y'all greatly. But as for DC news, no new movies were announced really, but I've been hearing all along about some of the DC movies anyway, but they didn't really mention anything at Comic-Con. But they mentioned a lot about what's going on with the TV universe, and they've come out with the trailers for the next seasons of Flash and Supergirl and the final season of Arrow, believe it or not, which is supposed to end right around with the Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's supposed to happen later on this year, but I cannot wait to see how they do. And they made the big announcement that Brandon Routh was returning as Superman for the Crisis on Infinite Earths. And also by the looks of a certain Superman shirt that he wore at the Comic-Con panel talking about this, he's going to be the Kingdom Come Superman, which I think is excellent. I can't wait to see how they do this. And I just can't wait to see like two Superman on the screen at the same time. This is going to be epic. And also a lot of the things announced. I mean, I've seen the trailer for The Flash. It looked pretty interesting. Supergirl looked kind of interesting. I'm interested to see how one little aspect, and that is how she gets this new costume that they debuted at Comic-Con. Yeah, that's right. Supergirl, they're actually, in the TV series, Supergirl is actually getting a new costume. And I've seen a little bit of what it looks like. She's actually wearing pants. And my best description is that it looks just like the one that Superman wears that Superman wears on the show. It looks almost exactly like it, only the S shield is different. Only a few little odds and ends are different, but it looks exactly like her cousin's costume. And to me, I don't have anything bad to say about it. I really don't have anything bad to say about it. I just say it kind of reminds me of, it kind of goes along with the Elseworlds story that happened last year, where basically Superman and Lois leave Earth for Argo so they can go off and start a family, and he basically leaves Earth in the charge of Kara. And to me, that's almost like passing the torch on to her, and she's basically picking it up by wearing a costume that's almost identical to his. And I think that's actually pretty logical and very fitting, actually. And like I said, I actually like this suit. And it kind of reminds me of the Elseworlds Finest storyline, where Kara and Barbara Gordon become Superwoman and Batwoman of that Earth. And I think it's actually a pretty good move, actually. And as for what's happening with the Flash, I really don't know, because my interest in that show is actually kind of flagged, other than seeing the trailer. But I mean, I don't watch it every single night like I used to. I just wait for the DVDs to come out. I don't even know how last season was, other than the fact that I did. Other than wasn't particularly a fan of Barry and Iris's daughter. To me, she just felt annoying. But I'll say more about that officially when I do I might try to do a review on it when I actually get to see the show. But otherwise, I'm very interested to see how everything happens on the way to Crisis on Infinite Earths. And even though I always thought Arrow was boring, I actually do want to see what happens at the end of the Arrow series. Seeing it's all supposed to come, like I said, Crisis on Infinite Earths is basically supposed to bring the show to its end, and I kind of can't wait to see how they wrap up Arrow. I mean, I was there at the beginning. I kind of would be fitting to be there at the end. So I'm actually interested to see how they end off Arrow. And they didn't say anything about Star Wars, unfortunately. We don't know anything else other than they're introducing a new kind of stormtrooper called the Sith Trooper, which is basically just looks like the current stormtrooper, but red and black instead of white and black. And actually looks pretty interesting. Actually looked pretty cool. I mean, they had like figures and pops there and everything. It actually looked pretty cool. But one of the other big things that they debuted was the trailer for Star Trek Picard, and I haven't talked about it very much on the show, but I am a huge Star Trek Next Generation fan, and Captain Jean-Luc Picard is my favorite Star Trek captain ever of any of them. To me, in my personal opinion, he's better than Kirk, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But they actually showed a full trailer for the show, and I mean, it's great. I mean, it's already started off with a very interesting storyline, and I'm not going to spoil any of that for you. Just go find the trailer definitely look up the trailer for yourself here on YouTube. But the fact is that, I mean, like 7 of 9 showed up in it, and the biggest thing that happened at the end of it, I'm definitely not going to spoil that for you. You'll just have to go see. Well, what the hey? Definitely go see it. Definitely go see the trailer. But I'm definitely going to say the biggest thing at me, it was at the tail end of it when Data showed up, because I didn't expect to see him there. But the fact he showed up to me, that was just excellent, and I loved it a lot. And I said, I cannot wait for this show. I mean, as much bragging as I've heard on Star Trek Discovery, and as much praise I've heard for Anson Mount's portrayal of Captain Pike, and seeing the Enterprise on screen and everything, it's just so good to see my favorite captain back in the saddle again. So, and it was just so good to hear him say, engage again. That was just so much fun. And I cannot wait to actually see this show. And I think it's going to be really good. I just hate that I don't have CBS All Access so I can actually watch it. So again, just like with Sci-Fi's show Krypton, I'm gonna have to wait till it hits DVD. But also I forgot to mention with DC, they have finally announced the long-awaited Superman Red Sun animated movie that's supposed to come out. But the only drawback I see for that right now is that it's supposed to be on the DC Universe streaming service. I would hope that it's going to be on DVD, but who knows? Who really knows? Because usually they come out with these movies on DVD, but the fact it's going straight to the streaming service, who knows when it's going to hit DVD, but it does sound good. Also, the fact that they announced an original Superman story called Superman Man of Tomorrow, that sounds very interesting too, so I can't wait to see when that hits DVD. But unfortunately, no Godzilla news. No news on Godzilla vs. Kong, but we'll probably get more on that later this year. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think was what was the big? Oh, yeah, also I almost forgot. They showed the trailer. They showed the brand new trailer for Top Gun 2, and of course it's called Top Gun Maverick. But it actually looked pretty cool. I'm a fan of the original movie, and I actually cannot wait to see this. It's got me interested, and I really, really want to see it. So I personally cannot wait for this to hit theaters so I can see it. But what do y'all think? What was the big announcement that got y'all excited? What do y'all think of the new Picard series? What do you think about Marvel Phase 4? What do you think about all the DC announcements? What was your favorite announcement? Let me know in comments below. As always, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And I'll see y'all next time.